Hello everyone and welcome to another show dedicated to ye old times when there used to be a thing such as video games magazines that we really relied upon one day, someday in the past, the long forgotten past. In the ancient times when dinosaurs ruled the earth and there existed things like computers with CD drives and floppy disks even, and when people used to have these kind of, well, I made this myself, so I'm going to talk about it soon. A couple of months ago, I made a show about the old, I mean ancient magazines that I used to collect back in the day. Well, not so ancient. The oldest one was from the year 2000. It's actually the one that has these discs. I thought I'd continue on that idea by making a show with the many eras of CDs, demo discs, and all sorts of the swag, if you will, the stuff we all get, because that's what swag means. Swag used to be a thing on the web. I don't think people refer to it anymore. It's a dead meme, or a meme is what they call it. I don't know. I'm gonna make a show now about the demo discs, as they're kind of dead. Nobody makes demo discs. We have magazines today that are not. I don't think they have discs anymore, do they? Why would they? I'm not even sure if there are even magazines now, like the physical kind. And if there are, I don't think they have these kinds of discs anymore. So, hopefully the camera is lit correctly. I put this thing here because if I don't put it here, it's going to be overblown because of the second lamp up here. I'm going to try and turn it down a bit just so I'll have a bit more light. I would have hoped to have a somewhat better lighting for this show, but again, my chandelier thing is still busted and I only have the one light bulb. So let's begin with the year 2000. Actually, this is the second one. Where is the other one? Yeah, no, it's the one. The year 2000. That was a very interesting year when magazines used to have not really the proper best understanding of how to put discs. Namely, these were just plumped like into a sort of pocket of the magazine, of the covers, and they were filled to the brim with gunk, all sorts of gunk. You can still see some of it. I don't think that reflection is actually doing any favors to the camera, but they also be filled with, so you can sort of see it now. That gunk is still the adhesive from how the disc was bolted or pasted onto the cover of the magazine, and that was a PC Games magazine from the year 2000. It was the 6th issue of the year 2000, though I kind of remember getting it in, I think it was October, possibly November. PC Games didn't used to come out in like a normal fashion in Romania. It was a translation. It was more of a compilation of several issues from the German version of the magazine, and it sometimes used to plump them like 2 numbers a month and just have 1 number. And this was the 6th one. This was the one with Diablo. And in terms of content, this was amazing. I used to look at this CD and dream of one day being able to access what's on it, because it had a demo to Age of Empires 2, The Conquerors, and I hope this is actually being seen right. Hopefully it's in focus. I'm going to try to refocus it just to make sure it's okay. Yeah, I think it did it. Had a demo of Age of Empires 2, The Conquerors. It had videos of Black and White. Remember Black and White, how awesome it used to be? Of course you do, because you saw the show I made about it. Had Grand Prix 3. Grand Prix 3 was, I believe, the first Formula 1 simulator game to actually get an expansion with a new season. Up until then, it wasn't a thing. It still isn't. I mean, Codemasters makes brand new car game, new Formula 1 games every year, and some of them are just kind of meh. Technomage. Oh, I should do a show about Technomage. Technomage was a game that I only played a demo of, which I believe the demo is actually on one of these discs, if I'm not mistaken. I think it may be. We'll dig it up. It's somewhere around here and we will dig it up, I promise. It's a game that I really enjoyed because it had one really kooky puzzle that you had to complete in a tutorial. You had to stop time basically to get past an illusionary result that would just block you wherever you went. But you couldn't stop time because you can't stop the flow of time, but you can stop a clock. So I cast freeze spell on a clock, and it worked. That was so funny. Video about Baldur's Gate 2, of course. Divinity, the old Divinity. Gunman. Oh, who doesn't love Gunman? The Moon Project. I think there was a demo of this, never got it to work. And Real 2, of course. Had specials. I'm gonna try and zoom in a bit more. I mean, this is in 4K, it should probably be easy to see. Let's see, going toward the camera. Come on, autofocus. Autofocus, hopefully it's in focus, because for some reason when I turn the camera, it doesn't actually show me the like the proper focusing elements on the viewfinder that I have on the phone right now. But here we have things like Unreal Tournament maps. We have map designs for Unreal Tournament. Counter-Strike bots. Remember when you used to get your bots from something like this? Well, I do. I should probably have just zoomed in through the viewfinder here. Probably been a better choice. I think I actually will do that right now. Get that in. Yeah, there it is. See? Much better now. I can even tell if it's in focus or not. Come on, focus, focus. You know I can do it. If not, I'm just gonna manual focus. Come on. Get closer. Get closer. Almost, almost, almost. And let's say it's close enough. I think it's readable. Actually, I can even... See, what I love about this camera is that you can zoom in quite a lot. And I mean quite a whole lot. I'm not sure if you can actually focus at distance because I don't have a macro lens on it. You can see now it just went crazy. So let's try and focus back. But I'm just going to switch back to where I was earlier, because I don't think it can actually focus at this range. Hopefully I won't get it stuck or something. No, it's trying to focus, it's trying to sharpen the image. But no, that's the most it can do in this range. So I'm gonna zoom out a bit more. And I should probably have cut this out of the editing. I don't know, maybe I will. So apart from that, we have DLH. Remember DLH? Like the dirty little helper? It was that utility that used to... Not utility. It's a collection of walkthroughs and all sorts of other things I used to download so you would see how to get through games. You know, it wasn't like game facts, but, you know, back in the day when things were funny, and I still think it's not in focus. Okay, now it should be perfectly in focus. It's actually doing some weird thing with the reflection of this thing. And I used to actually spend a lot of time just reading through those walkthroughs, especially Diablo and other games I like. You had the Diablo 2 editor, which is a cheat model that lets you edit all sorts of things in Diablo. Had GameSpy, which at the time was kind of useful for games to run and multiplayer and stuff. He had a Counter-Strike update, because at this point, Counter-Strike was still a mod. He had an update for it. You had the Counter-Strike Opposing Force update. Speaking of Counter-Strike, we're going to get to it soon. Have patches for Deus 6, for Diablo 2, for Need for Speed 5, man. For Unreal Tournament and Windows desktop teams. Isn't that amazing? Can you think back in the day when you had Windows teams? Oh yeah, and the envelope. I made this. Like, I just made this out of paper. And it looks like absolute crap. But it's looked like absolute crap for 18 years. It's been like this since the year 2000. I'm gonna zoom back out again a bit, just so you can see more of the screen. Hopefully refocus again. I'm gonna try and do this a bit more live than the last one. I actually recorded a lot of video in the last one, but I didn't have any voiceover for most of it. And of course the keep forgetting what direction to move this in. The CD looks like kind of horrible. I mean, look at it. It's so filled with gunk. It's atrociously filled with gunk. Why did they do? Look at it. I mean, you can clearly see on this. Actually, they kind of still work. Like, even though they're scratched like to this degree and gunked up, they still kind of work. And on this one, we had, well, hopefully I can get it centered properly, then you can actually see it. Grand Prix 3, the demo of it. Heavy Metal FAKK 2. There's a 2 there. Should probably do a show about it one day. MechWarrior 3D never got this to work. It never worked. Panic Volcano. This was like a really short game where you used to shoot a hose of water into a volcano. And it had a... when you started the game, it said Panic Volcano. It was quite fun. Breakout, of course, is Breakout. Airfix, oh my god, I love this game. This is like a imagine if Revolt was a game about planes and actually good. I'm gonna get hate mail for this. I didn't enjoy Revolt. But Airfix Dogfighter, man, it was amazing. It was toy planes flying around a room, and it was so cool. Pac-Man, yeah, 2D is Pac-Man, but it's 2D plus, actually. It's Pac-Man, but tilted. And Spirit of Speed, 1957. It was with the, what do I call it, old-timey Formula 1, not necessarily Formula 1 cars, but the old racing cars, like the ones that look like not buckets, but tubs on wheels. I remember trying to play it. I think it worked. It was... I don't really have strong memories about it. Videos for Majesty, Monopoly Tycoon, Risk. I think this was supposed to be Risk 2, but it's Arecico 2 and Squad Leader. I do not remember the last two at all. Monopoly Tycoon, I remember it. I think that was actually made by EA or something. And Majesty, of course, who can forget it? I know someone who can forget it. His name is Frederick Wester. He's going to be CEO for Paradox for another couple of days. And he's going to retire from that position soon and become something greater. He'll become Frederick Wester the White. Gandalf. Oh my god, the camera does not like the orange in this one. Like this is supposed to be like super duper orangey, but it doesn't seem to like. Should probably tune the color calibration or something, but yeah. This is from Extreme PC. It's a Romanian magazine. I'm gonna zoom in a bit more and autofocus. Hopefully. And here you can see Counter-Strike 7.1. That's the mod. Not the, like, it wasn't a game back then, it was still a mod. And we had, of course, the demo for FAKK2 because it was popular back then. Sudden Strike, I played this quite a lot. I always got killed by mines because I forgot to sweep for them, even though I had a sweeper for them. Reach for the Stars would always crash. Delta Force Land Warrior, I was obsessed with Delta Force back then. I really like this kind of game. Never actually, I don't think I played it past the demo. I've only played the demo of Delta Force Land Warrior. Actually, only played Delta Force 1, this demo, and the Extreme one. The one that was kind of meh. And of course, V-Rally 2. I think I may have played it. And you also had utilities like Power Strip. You know, this was a customization thing. WinAce, remember WinAce? Man! Remember the discussions you used to... Not even sure if you had them. We used to have them. We used to go on about, well, what's better? What it's WinAce, it's WinZip, it's WinRAR, and then UHARC came along and sort of blew everybody's mind. Windows Commander, because Explorer wasn't really all that great back then, it still isn't. I don't remember what vControl and HyperSnap were. In terms of drivers, we had drivers for Radeon 4, for VIA, for Voodoo 5. This was at the tail end of the Voodoo generation, of the Voodoo legacy, and I don't think it's in focus for some reason. Are you in focus? I hope you're in focus. I don't want people just stare at that thing that's not visible. I should probably get a macro lens so I can make this kind of thing a bit easier to see. Had programs, Eudora. I don't remember what Eudora was, but it was quite famous back then. DivX, of course, you had to view view videos somehow. Flash Player, because you need Flash Player. Extension Manager, because you had to manage your extensions. And Blender. This is the first version of Blender I used. This is from the year 2000. This fit on a floppy. I had no idea how to use this software. It was really incomprehensible, honestly, at the time. Maybe I should try and turn on the autofocus and see if it gets any better. Okay, now it's in autofocus, so probably it should work a bit neater. Let me actually try and... should probably change the... Yeah, I think this should work. The autofocus should follow it properly this time. I usually set it to manual focus because I don't trust cameras to do their job. But I should probably trust this one because it cost a lot of money. So this was Extreme PC. Extreme PC was that magazine that had the sometimes fake reviews of games just because they could to make things funnier. This is going to be a long ass show, by the way. I have like an entire table of these to go through. Now we had something that was less gamey. This was PC World from October 2000. This was like a proper non-gaming. This was a full-on PC hardware and stuff magazine. It had Adobe Illustrator. For those who wanted to view their photos, you had Home Suite Files, which I don't know what it was. Photo Impact, which was an editor. MemTurbo 2. I used to use this quite a lot when I was a dummy and just fell for these things. MemTurbo 2 would free up RAM so you can use it to power your apps. But the way it... oh my god, I said apps. This was in the age before apps, when we had utilities, when we had DLLs, when we had, programs and applications, not apps. But the way it worked is that it just dumped things out of memory, things you're actually using, and it would just run slow. Your PC would just run slowly because those things you needed them to work would no longer actually be in memory. It was kind of annoying. You also did have some demos of video. Well, they had 3D Active Battle Magic, which I forgot what it was, but you also had the Roland Garros 2000, which was a tennis game, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine: The Fallen. And I played this demo, and it was based on the Unreal 1 engine, and it looked quite nice. This thing also worked on Windows NT and X, and should not be distributed apart from the magazine. And it was scanned with Antivirus Expert 2000 desktop. Yeah, that was a thing. Moving on. This is PC Games from the 7th issue. See, 7th issue of PC Games. It had Homeworld, name I cannot say because I will be sued by Blizzard. No, really. Blizzard owns this name. The reason why Homeworld, this name, is called something else on GOG right now is because Blizzard owns this name. Even though Homeworld, this name, predates that expansion of World of Warcraft, it can no longer be called that because they own this name. That is stupid. Also, you had Asterix, which I can't actually remember which demo of Asterix it was because there were a lot of Asterix games back then. Starfleet Command, I played this demo to death. Starfleet Command was superb. Keep the Balance was a kind of simple puzzle game where you just had to keep the balance and things. In Cold Blood. In Cold Blood was an adventure game slash action, well, not really action, but sort of a 3D-ish, a PlayStation-style 3D, like Final Fantasy 7-ish adventure game made by the creators of Broken Sword. I didn't really play much of it. I played a demo on a train and stuff. Gunlock was kind of a turn-based RPG thing, I think. NHL 2001. That was, I think it was one of the last NHL games to ever come out on PC. And the Siege of Avalon. I've played this demo so much. Like this isn't just a demo. This is a preliminary version of the first chapter of the game, and it does have a lot of differences from the final version of the chapter, but it is the first chapter and it is quite playable. Stupid Invaders was a really quirky adventure game from back in the day, and the Metal Gear Solid. Yes, that is Metal Gear Solid 1 for PC. I have the demo of it. I played it. It ended about when after you got up to the elevator. I think also had the level where you crawled into the main building, and it ended there. This is just the first CD. The second one had, it had a lot of things. Like videos for Warcraft 3. I remember seeing this video and was just amazed by it. How long it took before I actually got to play the game, man, that was so long. Diablo 2, the expansion set demo. Peter Molyneux about the Xbox. See, that's when the lies began. With what the Xbox could do, and Fable, and you plant a tree and it'll grow, and Severance Blade of Darkness, superb game. Anno, Industry Giant, Giant System Computer, World of Sports Cars, Jaeger. Remember Jaeger? I actually had a splash page of it on one of these videos. Hidden and Dangerous 2, Neverwinter Nights. With Baldur's Gate, we sparked a role-playing renaissance. And now we continued with the Neverwinter Nights or something, and actually, the expansion to Baldur's Gate Ball had the promise of continuing the adventure in Neverwinter Nights if you imported the save game, but that was never actually a feature because they switched to a different D&D role system from the second to the third one. Commanders 2 video, Warrior Kings, Insane. I loved Insane. Don't think there's a demo of Insane in any of these, but I love that game. It was superb. Colonic Rally 2 was a great game. Simon Sorcerer, I never played the series at all. B-17 Flying Forestry, I played the demo of it. I think it's on one of the other CDs. And Pro Ride 2001, I love this game. Like, this was like my favorite from back in the day. I really liked it for some reason. It just felt so good. Specials, isn't it? There for Grand Prix 3, Rainbow 6, NATO 3 mod. Remember when Rainbow 6 games could have mods? Of course you don't. Sims 2's Elite Force Development Kit, because this was based on the Unreal Engine. They made a version of the Unreal Editor with the assets for Elite Force, for Star Trek Voyager Elite Force. Patches for 4x4 Evolution. This was a Romanian game. This was made by I think Fun Labs. Yeah, I think it was Cabela's 4x4 Evolution. It was made by Fun Labs. Breakout patch, Crimson Skies patch. Oh, I sort of regret that I don't have any of these magazines from when Crimson Skies was being covered on them because I really loved it. I have Flanker 2, which was also a game about space, about planes. EF Radiant update. I don't know what it is actually. And of course, here's the Might and Magic 3 patch because you can't really have a, demo disc in 2000 without the patch for Heroes of Might and Magic 3 because it's awesome. I'm gonna make a short intro right now with something that isn't from the year 2000. This is what my boss sent me to review Hawks. This is the press kit. This is all that's written on it. See? This contains videos and some leaflets. There is no actual game on it. I had a really good boss. Should probably blur his name on this one just so he doesn't get mad or something. This was my review copy of Tom Clancy's Endwar. I think we're supposed to send it back, but he sent it to me. So it's almost 10 years old. So I don't think Ubisoft minds that they sent this thing to me. Well, to him, and then he sent it to me. I didn't make a review of it. It's a lost time right now, but I didn't make a review of it. So moving on. Again, I'm probably going to breeze to some of the later ones, but I really want to focus on the earlier ones because they really sort of stood out for me. See, this what I loved about PC games is that they always had like different colors for their CDs, like super different colors. For example, take this one. I'm actually going to try and center the video again. Okay. This one had, again, a demo for Pro Rally 2001, which I played. Venom. Venom is also called Codename Outbreak. I think, and I probably am mistaken about this, but I think it was made by GSC Game World, like the people that made Stalker. I believe it's made by them. Warm Up was a racing game that I don't think was all that great. Defense Commander, I remember nothing about it. STCC was another racing game, the stock car racing. I think it was in the... I can't remember... No, that was Toka. It was Race Driver Toka, and that became Race Driver Grid, and then became Race Driver things, Autosport, but I think it was stock cars back in the day. Blair Witch 2. I think this was the Coffin Rock or Rusty Spur. Can't remember which one of them it was, but I believe it was made by the same people that brought us Nocturne, which was an excellent mix of action and puzzle. Well, the puzzle bits weren't that great, and then the jump. I got stuck in a jump once. I mean, I fell down where I shouldn't fall down, and instead of dying, I just got stuck there and didn't save them. Oh, memories. Sheep. I love this game. There's a game similar to it currently. Well, not currently. It was released a bunch of years ago. It's called Flockers, where you control a spaceship that tries to get some sheep back, and it's kind of the basic idea of this game because the sheep were aliens. We're supposed to guide them to their back to their ship, and their ship was an old computer, like an actual power computer with a CD drive and everything. UT348. I played this for more hours than you can possibly imagine. This worked on a Pentium with 133 megahertz, 24 megs of RAM, and 2 megabytes of video, as long as I did not have the audio card installed. Once I put in the audio card, it was just unplayable. Like it couldn't calculate everything in time, and it would just throw out errors. Like the image would move across the screen at the speed of light, and I would be simultaneously outside the map and inside it and in a wall and in place. It was unplayable with sound. Without sound, at 300 by 200, I loved this. It only had a small selection of weapons like the flak cannon, the minigun, the Ripper wasn't there. I think the rocket launcher probably was there, but it didn't have all the weapons. It had the the flak. It didn't have the flak cannon. It had the rocket launcher, and the plasma gun and the pulse rifle. Didn't have the rest other ones. Well, that had the Enforcer and the flak cannon. I played this game so much, it was superb. Original War is a time traveling adventure where you go to I think you're the US, you go to Russia back in time and get the rare resource from back then that allows you to time travel through time, but the Russians figure out and also send their own team back through time, and I actually almost bought it, but I actually just wanted to get Deus Ex and didn't have it and said, nah, why not? No. And then FIFA 2001, which is again I also played in multiplayer once. No, I actually think that may have been 2000. Probably getting them confused because It's been quite a long while since then. I mean, ages. At least at this point, they actually had, well, even in the other 2000 edition, they had the proper like things in which to put the discs in the magazine. They weren't just bolted into the covers. Now, in terms of the second disc, we had a video for Anachronox. Let's enter this. Anachronox here, Mafia, Operation Flashpoint, which I love the idea of Operation Flashpoint. The idea of Operation Flashpoint was like super, like it's a simulator now. It's not just like Delta Force where you can shoot at a crate and it'll explode. You can shoot a pilot in a helicopter and the chopper will go down. Had Giants, had Emperor Battle for Dune. And mind you, this was still like a year before I actually got to play Dune 2. And this video came out. No One Is Forever also had was big back then. He had maps. I can remember especially he had maps, free maps on a demo disc for Age of Empires 2 and for Red Alert and the map editor. And voila, Counter-Strike 1.0. Still a mod, but it's Counter-Strike 1.0. Man. Those were the days when they also had patches for Cossacks, Grand Prix 3, Sudden Strike CD, ROM drive patch, because, you know, they used to bork it. Sudden Strike and Unreal 227, which I actually tried to combine with this one, with 348, but didn't work, because this was Unreal Tournament, and this was Unreal, but I didn't know that at the time. And this is the first number I ever bought of the Level magazine. Level magazine was a really, really awesome magazine from our region of the woods, our neck of the woods. Hopefully it's in focus. Now I'm gonna be kind of upset. Come on, focus on this thing. Had a demo for Colin McRae Rally 2. I had a demo for Gunman Chronicles that I played to death. Like I played a lot. I really enjoyed it. Is it in focus? Because I can't really. I'm gonna just shove this in my face and see if it looks in focus enough. I'm gonna put it here so I can actually see it better. Fargate. This one also crashed. American McGee played it. It was a nice demo. MechWarrior 4 didn't work on most of the pieces I had, so I didn't play it. Midtown Madness was, again, a game I kind of enjoyed. Watchmaker was that first adventure game I mentioned on the Adventure Game podcast. This is where I got it from. And of course, there's Space Empires 4. I have played this probably more than the Unreal Tournament demo, because this was a 100-turn demo. It didn't matter how far you went, it didn't matter how wide you crossed the space, you could only play for 100 turns. But in that 100 turns, you could do a lot of things, especially if you cheated. If you did your best to cheat, especially when I got a memory editor, I just gave myself a bunch of resources and started just conquering space. And I think the ISO may be a bit too high on this, so there may be some flakiness to the image. Sorry about that. It's not really proper, super duper correct imaging. Now this is sort of scuffed up a bit because I lent it to a friend of mine from high school. She really wanted to play like an adventure game, and I thought, well, she may enjoy Alone in the Dark 4. And her mom used this to like gather up some trash and threw it away. And well, she cleaned it, she taped it back a bit, and she gave it back to me. So not this, but the envelope. But since then, I'm a bit apprehensive of loaning out things to people. Well, that and the thing that's going to come up a bit later. It had a demo for Alone in the Dark 4, Incredible Machines, Edge of Chaos, Independence 1 2, Edge of Chaos, Gangsters 2, Get the Bunny, which had never worked. Had a demo for The Sting, which is actually, I did a show about it in Romania. It's actually kind of a nice adventure type heist game. Had another demo for Technomage. This is the demo for Technomage that I played in 3D World War II, which I forgot what it was. So, in terms of share, we had the download. Remember these? Remember download accelerators? We used to like have them everywhere because everybody wanted to download things faster. So why not just get an accelerator? These were necessary because you needed an option to pause and resume downloads later on, because the functionality was not built into anything back then. Hypersnap, I think it was a picture type thing situation. Hopefully it's visible kind of here. Mirk, remember Mirk? IRC back in the day, now it's called Slack. And of course Windows Commander. Saving this for a bit later because it's from later in the timeline. There is one CD missing in one of these envelopes. I didn't loan it to anybody. It didn't get lost. It exploded. I put it in my CD drive one day hoping to play Comanche 4 because it had a demo of Comanche 4, and it exploded. It took out my CD drive, and I was left without a CD drive for months. That's why I finished Morrowind and Dave Norris BMX like 3-4 times. But not Ultima 4 because it was kind of harder to actually finish. On this one, we had a demo for Aliens vs Predator 2. Superb game. Pearl Harbor, I don't think I should play that one. Let me actually get this thing out of here. The Avenger 4, I played this demo to death. I loved it. Like, The Avenger is the kind of parody game you don't really see that often, do you? You mostly see the kind of parody games that are, oh, this is a rock simulator or box simulator, you know, the kind of lazy stuff. But this one has actually had actual effort put into it. It was a fun game. Had Economic War, which was an okay kind of economical game, game about economy. It's probably very relevant now with the trade war. Hardcore, I forgot what it was. Like, I totally forgot. Zox Alien Hunter was sort of a top-down action kind of game. It was made by the people that created that Ricochet game that was, for some reason, tied to Valve or something. No, it was Reflexive. Yeah, Reflexive. It was the people that made Lionheart Legacy of the Crusader. There's two movies I played it a bit. Don't remember much of it, honestly. And I also had Throne of Darkness. This is the game made by people that also created Diablo 2. That wasn't all that great because the combat kind of sucked. It felt floaty. Had shareware like a large drive tool because back in the day, Windows wasn't really set up to properly handle large drives, and I'm trying to get a angle from where you can actually see the text. Had the Magic's Music Studio. These were shareware, by the way. They weren't full versions. You only had like a month of them. Had Miranda ICQ, which I believe maybe one of those communication things. Modem Booster, because of course you need the Modem Booster. CD, MP3 Converter. Offline Explorer, because, maybe one of the things. Q3 Server Monitor. I think this was Quake 3 related. Tweaky, don't know what it was. And Winamp 276. I've used this version of Winamp for a decade. This is where I got it from. My god, those were the days, weren't they? When you had Winamp. Winamp could have conquered the world, but it was in the hands of idiots after a while, and they really didn't conquer the world. And let's see, what's this? CD2. Okay, I'm gonna get back to the level 1 soon. This was an exclusive demo of Desperados. From back in the day with MechWarrior 4, with NBA Live, with SWAT 3. I played this, I had no idea how to play it, because you couldn't see the weapon. Battle Isle, and it's Easel. That was Isle. Huh. Okay, that changed my perspective on the world. The Andosian War, it was a 3D real-life Nike's game. Formula 1 Championship, Formula 1 Racing Championship, Colin McRae, hardware. DirectX 8 was the thing back then. It was just coming out for Windows 9X and Windows 2K. HZ Tool, I'm not sure what it was. Power Strip was again a customization thing. Matrox Tweak, in case you had a Matrox video card. GeForce Tweak, in case you had a GeForce 1 or 2 video card. Cashman was something about caching. CD2 of this was, of course, a video for Black and White, for Oni, for Severance. I think, what is the second CD here? Oh, that's something else. Yarhar. You couldn't really get, movies back then legally on CD, so, things happen. Had videos for Black and White, for Oni. Like, you can sort of tell that this is when I started going into PC video games. Warm Up Again, Tropico X. Yeah, a video for the Xbox. Actually, fun fact about this video, I used it to compensate for the fact that I didn't have the CD2 for Final Fantasy VII for like 5 years. I didn't super compensate, but it worked. Specials for Age of Empires, Unreal Maps and Mod, GameSpy, Acrobat 4, because we need to read Acrobat stuff. Doesn't matter. Conquest Frontier Wars. A demo for Anachronox. This demo just blew me away. Like this is a demo that is self-aware of being a demo, and I do hope it's in focus again, because it probably have moved myself a bit more towards this side. Yeah, I think this helps a bit. Just hope it's in focus. Come on, be in focus. MAD, that's mutually assured destruction. I think it was sort of a thermonuclear kind of destruction game. Mech Commander 2, superb game. Moon Tycoon, never worked. Project Eden, I played the demo of it. I was actually planning to do a show about it this year until I sort of put the history series on hiatus. It's going to be back in In August, I may still do a demo of it. Icewind Dale Heart of Winter. This isn't the demo. This is the Heart of Winter expansion. I don't think it was a very big expansion, but it was an expansion, free. Ultimate Ride was a roller coaster simulator type of game, but I don't think it worked on my PC. And of course, the World's War Party demo. This is the demo that I played the third most of. It's a game that I like. When my cousin got the CD-ROM before me. He had a computer with a CD-ROM that he got before I got a CD-ROM for my computer. I went to them with all of these CDs, and we played this for 6 hours straight. It was the most fun we ever had on a computer. Like, it was just amazing. I'm not sure what CD2 of this is. I know it's around here somewhere. I just know it. Here we had the Eurofighter, which is a Eurofighter Typhoon, the combat jet from the European Union. It's a very nice. Was there a European Union? Yeah, there was. It was an okay-ish flight game. Kohan is an RTS type RPG thing that I should probably have played more of. Operation Flashman again, I liked it. Tropico, loved it. Adventure Pinball was a 3D pinball type of game. I have not researched any of these like recently. I remember playing them 20 years ago. Well, 17 years ago. Well, actually, no, 16 years ago because I didn't have the disc until the CD-ROM until 2002. Real War was, well, like war but real. And my phone hicked up a bit, but I think the recording's still going because it's on the camera. I'm just looking at the. Oh my god, I've been recording for half an hour. Okay, I'm gonna have to breeze through the last one. Have Age of Sail, Hostile Water, STCC2, Summoner, Tribes. Remember Tribes 2? It had a patch here. Hardware, again, 3D effects for Voodoo 3. They still made drivers for Voodoo 3 and 4 in 2001. And motherboard drivers, NVIDIA detonators. Man, those were the days. Those were the days. And then I couldn't afford to buy a magazine like this for a couple of years. So we move on to 2013 and Great Escape. I like the movie. The demo of it seemed like an okay kind of thing. They don't really render video, the image like properly on sometimes on my machine. Had Tron 2, played this quite a lot. Will Rock, like it was a Serious Sam type of game, but in the demo version, in the main menu was Twisted Sister's I Wanna Rock. And that wasn't in the full version of it. Because I played the full version one time and I forgot about it. You had mods for Pirates of the Caribbean, you had Tenebre. Tenebre was a mod that the level was making for Morrowind. I think that's what it was, because they had a development log of it in the magazine itself. And being 2003, well, we sort of got to DC++. That was a download thing. You said FlashKit, you had Coolcam, Winamp, 2.95. We're getting close to Winamp 3. Winamp 3 is not everybody's favorite, let's face it. Not a lot of people liked Winamp 3. That's why they skipped regular to 5, because 5 was 3's functionality with 2's appearance, so that's the best of both worlds. In 2003, we still got the patches for Diablo 2. This was actually one of the last patches they released up until a couple of years ago, actually. 110. Morrowind. Again, a very slow patch. Tomb Raider, Angel of Darkness was kind of horrible. Had movies for Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. I'm not sure if this was for the game or for the movie. And also had images from the first Sniper Elite, Return of the King, and Pax Romana. And what was the other thing in here? Oh no, wait! I did have one from 2002! You're just buried here! Vengeance, Hegemony Allegiance. I remember playing this on the Pentium 2 with 250 megahertz, and it sort of required a PC with the 800 megahertz CPU. I was proud of it. Imperium Galactica 3, Moral Minus, don't remember that one. Stun Madison, Stronghold Crusader, which is number 4 on the most played demo I ever played. I knew it was here somewhere. I played that demo quite a lot. And now we're sort of getting, this is my, this is the CD for my motherboard that I still have from 2006. Let's gloss over it. What is in here? Oh, this is my Logilink mouse driver. Love that mouse. It was a great mouse. Let's see if I can get these in order. Yeah. Then we had the Geotron. Geotron was sort of like Tron 2, but just a light cycle bit, and well, just that. It was the demo of Lionheart just made me fall in love with the game. Didn't really like the full game was nice, but it didn't really live up to the expectations in some ways. 13 was really kooky, cell shaded shooter with David Duchovny. Northland, I barely remember what it was. No, I don't know. But it wasn't the mod in question. Cabria was the mod they were working on. Yeah, I sort of got them mixed up. Had mods for Dragon's Lair. Not really sure what. Oh, and I think these were all mods for whatchamacallit, for Morrowind, apart from the last two, which is multi-theft out of Vice City, which was a multiplayer component to Vice City, and real GTA, which added real cars into GTA. Used to get these on demo discs, man, on magazine discs. Used to have patches. Like I couldn't play Warcraft 3 without these patches because it didn't really recognize my video card. It's kind of sucky in that way. The Bink and Smack. Oh my god, with this one, I got so much mileage of the Bink and Smacker player because every game back then used to have movies in that format, and I could use them. I could recode them with this utility in something I could actually edit and modify and use. I loved it back then. Virtual Boy Advanced. If you wanted to emulate Virtual Boy games, they didn't give you the ROMs, but just the emulators. You don't really see people doing that nowadays, now do you? Had patches, media for Half-Life 2 in 2003. Remember that Half-Life 2 trailer back then? Man, that was something. Moving on, we have, let's go to 2005. We had Echo. This is actually a free game made by what I believe was the first kind of video game university in the USA. We had WSA Galactica, I forgot what it was. Scar was a sort of racing game. It was Squad Corsa Alfa Romeo. It was Alfa Romeos. What was the message? Never mind. Star Defender 2, I forgot what it was. Unreal Tournament 2007. Back when we thought it was UT 2007, it became UT3 and did not look anywhere near as good as this thing. And I think the light may be a bit off in this video. I'm sorry about that. Should probably have moved it like maybe closer to the thing. Move the thing closer so I'll have more light. Should probably done this like hours ago, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of sucky at this. Psychonauts. Remember Psychonauts? Man, that was a cool game. Obscure Pariah. And videos for all sorts of things. And wet source code. Yeah, Wolfenstein Enemy Story source code. You used to get stuff like this on these. Man, those were the days. AVI codec tools, Mozilla Firefox 1.04 final. Man, that was a long time ago. What is this in this? What is in this thing? Oh, that's the log join thing I already looked at. Had MotoGP 3 fifth demo in terms of time played. This is the fifth one. Mountain Blade 6.32. It was basically the full game. This was early access before it was cool. You had the full game if you paid for it. Otherwise, you were limited to a certain level. You could always. I just made a level editor. I had a memory editor and just blocked my progression in terms of level, so I wouldn't get to level 5. And just continue. Who keeps messaging me on Skype? Really, it's Skype. Why would you use it? And I just blocked my progression and just went around the map and what was Zanzibar? No, Zendor? I think that was the name of the first time they removed in the Fire version of the game. Silver Wings was a free kind of thing. It was kind of nice. Warlord, I don't remember it at all. Blood Rain 2, man, it took so long for Blood Rain 2 to actually appear on PC. Oh yeah, and the Longest Journey. I actually have to make a trip back in time after the series, don't I? Because there's something else I have to cover. Like, see that you don't see a lot of demos. Like, the number of demos went down as time went on. Had Metal Racing, and Texas Soul Small, Erachi Extreme, the Settlers 2 10th anniversary. Wow, this is already in the modern day. And a demo for Penumbra. Remember Penumbra before the Slenderman thing took over that kind of genre? Sure was the thing. Winace was in its dying grasp. Power Strip was still going in 2006. My God. Antivirus. Nod is actually still a thing. Dawn of War patches. Stacked. Titan Quest patch. There was a demo for Titan Quest on one of these. And it didn't work for me because, the text wouldn't render. There was no text. It just showed strings of text and nothing complete. Gravity Drive was the game that was made by that college thing with the gaming thing. The Age of Empires Freedom would not work on a CPU without SSE, and I'm gonna have to go back in time a bit because, well, something happened in the year 2002. Level started shipping full games. And I would have for you right now the first full game they shipped, like they distributed, like legal full game, which was Seven Kingdoms Ancient Adversaries. I would have it for you, but I loaned it out to one of my neighbors, and he lost it when he was at college. And that was my first full original unparted game. And it's lost to time. I don't have it anymore. It's gonna be an hour-long video, and it's recording in 4K, so boy, this is gonna take a long while to render out. So as time goes on, we got these discs with full games. This was Mobile Forces. This makes Counter-Strike look like it's bitch. This is a much funner game to play than Counter-Strike. You have vehicles, you have all sorts of different game modes. It's an excellent game, period. Counter-Strike is meh. I had some jewel cases around, so I just put them in cases. This is Patrician 2. Remember Ascaron. Remember the Ascaron Skull Tavern in Sacred One? Man, I got a kick out of seeing that. And he had the inserts that you could put yourself into the... see, this is actually on the back of a Doom 3 thing. Should kind of ruin that Doom 3 thing. Could have probably used it as a poster or something. Kind of cut it out. This is Disciples 1. I had a friend that was really into Disciples 2 and heralded it as the best thing ever. Didn't really see it, honestly. Just... it's kind of okay. I'm more in the Master of Magic type of school of what kind of game should this thing be. So it only catch on with me. Here we have the 2-disc version of The Longest Journey. CD2 doesn't work anymore. I tried to install it off it and it didn't work. So I think I'm gonna have to deal with the GOG version. It says that it requires a Pentium 2 at 266. It works on, well, no, I had a 350 down. I had 350, 64. I actually had 100. Yeah, I was way over spec for this game. Yeah, I really had a rocking Pentium 2 back then. Love this game, by the way. Never played on Windows ME. If you play it on Windows ME, there is a point where it will crash, and you have to be really fast at solving a puzzle if you don't want it to crash. Otherwise, it will crash. The Suffering. This is now available to buy on GOG. It was also free for a while on when THQ when Midway was going under, but it's now again available to buy along with its sequel. I love this game. Like this is a great action horror game. Superb. This is from much later when I actually my mom got the CD version of Level by mistake instead of the DVD one. The DVD one also had the client of EVE Online on it, which I did not have, so I didn't get to play EVE Online back then. I played it much later. And, well, I could only get into it. SRS Racing is a racing game, but if you win enough, this girl and some other ones dance for you. It's kind of meh. Then we had Chrome. Chrome was Techland's first big game. I played this like under 1 frame a second when it was in exteriors, and most of the game took place in exteriors. I had to look at the ground to be able to actually move properly. When an interior scene showed up, man, I was so excited. But technologically, the Chrome was based on the first iteration of the Chrome engine, and it was kind of nice. It's sort of like Deus, watered down Deus Ex, like in terms of the mechanics of it, in terms of the the enhancements to your cybernetic organism and cybernetic limb stuff. It wasn't what you would call super duper mega ultra super extra duper quality game, but it was good enough for the time. Here we have Scrapland. Or as I call it, the reason why I have no idea why people think Beyond Good and Evil is good. Because Scrapland is basically the same game in a lot of aspects, in terms of gameplay at least, but it's just flat out better. Like in every way. It's like GTA, but with robots in space. It's an improvement over the what the other one was of Beyond Good and Evil. Of course, Broken Sword 1. They also had the second one, but I couldn't afford the game, the magazine then. So only got the Shadow of the Templars. I love this game. Like, look at the beautiful city. Look at how beautiful it looks. Man. I should probably just get a CD drive just so I can play these again. Actually, no, I should just put them in the case and just hold them there for posterity. And then we had the worst game they probably ever had on the full game list, which is Plain Crazy, which is a really I actually had to rank by name on this so people wouldn't steal it. It was a really crappy plane racing game, like horrible. I mean, Jesus. But then we had stuff like Gothic. Holy hell, did this game just blow me away. I finished like 2 or 3 times. I played through it so many times, so many hours. I loved every moment of it. It's amazing. And if it wasn't free with the magazine, I probably would never played it, because who could afford games back then? And then we went into the DVD age. We had everything on a DVD, like the demos are on DVD, the full game was on a DVD, Toko Race Driver 3, which crashed my entire computer, Suffering Ties That Bind, Need for Speed Most Wanted, the demo of it, Huxley. Oh, remember Huxley? Huxley was cancelled so long ago. Man, the game still look kind of nice. I kind of forgot what it was, but I remember thinking it was nice. There's your Winamp 5.1, and wow, I still recording. Okay. It's still going at 50 minutes. This is going to be a longest video in 4K. It's going to kill my PC probably. King Kong, wallpapers, screensaver. Remember screensavers? We used to have screensavers with World of Warcraft and Forcewear and patches for Battlefield and Civilization 4 patches. And Nero, Burning Realm, and QuickTime 7, that absolute crash of a utility they still need because for some reason you can't play in QuickTime files on Adobe without QuickTime. Metal Ball, the Unreal Tournament extended something collector edition bonus pack. Free content for a game that wasn't DLC you had to buy. Star Maker for the movies. You can make your own characters for the movies. Free. We used to be so goddamn pampered back in the days. We're actually, no, we are treated with respect. The industry today, not so much. Here we had things like Crash Day and Galactic Star Wars Empire. I actually bought this recently off Steam in the sale, played it, realized, man, maybe I'm remembering the game a bit better than it was. I refunded it because I didn't feel that great. Had a demo for XP Reunion because this, it was just a tech demo for it to see how well your PC would run it. Mine wouldn't, because this was the one with extra threat. I played this game quite a lot on a PC that could not really run it. The in-game cinematic sequences would run at sub 1 frame a second, and they used to be long. It could be atrocious to play, but I loved every moment of it. And I still think some of the ideas in this one just blow all the other ones out of the water. Massive Assault is a very simplistic game, like super duper simplistic. It's a global domination strategy. It's rock paper scissors with like literally 3 types of units that you have to place in a hex grid, and if you mash them right, you win. Also had demos for cars. I don't think it's that cars. He had the demo for Blood Money, which I did play some bit. Only had the tutorial mission. Titan Quest. This is the demo that didn't work. The text strings were not functional. Age of Conan. Man, I played that game a lot when it came out. Like literally the month when it came out. I sort of lost interest after I got out of I want to say Sociable, but Sociable was in whatchamacallit, Divinity Original Sin. No, it was Tortuge Island, Danger Island, with that girl that spoke with a very, very... Well, everybody spoke with that accent in that place. Resistance Fall of Man was a thing. And the Sam Max, I think it was the old one before they actually made... Before the old one, Scarface, The Club. The Club was the reason why a lot of people got to play multiplayer things on whatchamacallit, on Windows, Games Windows Live. Because Sega gave away free keys to The Club that were valid for every... And I mean... game on that server. Oh no, wait, this is the Evil 9 trial. Oh no, wait, the trial that I didn't get to play was the one for Auto Assault, and I always regret that because I love car games and multiplayer car games and MMO car games that are more just about cars. Then we had this one with the BioShock demo. I didn't get this for the demos at all. At this point, I was just buying them occasionally for the full game, which was Dreamfall: The Longest Journey, which is again I'm conflicted about this game, but in the end, I love it. I'm conflicted and in love with it. Whereas with this one, I just plain love it. Arx Fatalis. I actually thought to myself, you know what would be nice if Level had Arx Fatalis next month as a free game. Boom, it happened. I am psychic, people. I tell you, I am psychic. Invest now in Bitcoin. And I hope this thing is still in focus because the text is so small I can't even see it. Air Conflict, Full Spectrum Warriors, Shadow Force 2, Uber Soldier. This thing was basically identical to the 2008 or 2009 Wolfenstein game. And I mean, you had the same powers. And this came out years before it. I really don't like the Wolfenstein game that was in between Return to Castle Wolfenstein and the modern series. Then had Hitman, Codename 74. They were giving this out for free in 2006. I think they also gave out a sequel. Had Castle Wars, which was kind of a simple game. Night Watch. Oh my god, Night Watch. I love this demo. Night Watch, if you don't know, is a series of movies and books from Russia. I can't pronounce the original name in Russian. Navir. I won't even try. I won't even try. This was a turn-based tactics game in the vein of Jack of the Lions or XCOM, set in the Night Watch universe, and you had flashlights that doubled as lightsabers to fight evil. And that it's not great, I don't know what it is. And of course, the demo for Sub Zombie, Rebel Dota Policy, and also had Demon Tools because these guys got it. These guys understood what it was about. Like, you know why you would need Demon Tools, and of course, QuickTime Alternative because the original QuickTime is kind of awful. And also, a second full game, this wasn't actually a freeware game, it was Swine with pigs and rabbits. And of course, .NET Frameworks was a thing back then, and well, all sorts of other stuff. Ultima 5 Lazarus. Remember, fans remade Ultima 5 in the Dungeon Siege engine. And an only 2004 mega pack of games, of mods. Star Force, Safe Sec Plus, because Star Force. Goddamn Star Force. But we have Spell Force, which is another kind of force that's actually better. This game was quite nice. I did get kind of bored with it halfway through and just cheated and broke my way through a bit of the map where I wasn't supposed to go. But the game still let me go through it and sort of skipped through half the game, which is kind of fun. Very, very fun. And I believe, judging from the character and this thing, I may believe... Here's a Vanilla the Empires with the thing where you would fight elves and tanks for some reason at one point. And I think there may be a movie from... Spore was the thing back then. But no, for some reason I thought this guy was from Project Offset, but no, it wasn't. Star Siege Tribes, like a batch for the first tribes, and I sort of cut it out of focus. Galactic Soul Edition 2, no, this was already so late. Oh yeah, this was the Prophecies trial, Guild War Prophecies. This, was only valid for 5 hours across 2 weeks. They were very, very stingy. And of course, the full version of Tribes and Warmux, which is sort of like a Linux version of Worms, a freeware implementation. FTD Show was what replaced DivX for a while for most people. Unstoppable Copier. This one has a picture of a cat, the developer's cat. This thing will copy everything. Like, it'll try until it dies to copy something. It'll do its best. Oh, and there's a Return to Castle Wolfenstein patch as well. And as we're getting closer to the end, let's go through X3 Reunion. This was the best looking game when it came out. Like, no joke, it was the best looking game when it came out. Really played that much. I sort of liked the way 2 worked a bit more. Outside, Alone in the Dark 4 tech demo? Oh, it should be Alone in the Dark 5, I guess. Unreal Engine screenshots, wallpapers with Sacred 2. You can barely see the text anymore. Then we had, this is going back in time a bit. This is the singles, which is like The Sims but with Whoopi, you could actually see. Had demos for Blazing Angels 2, Blazing Angels 1, Squadrons of World War 2. It's made by Ubisoft Romania, the guys that made Hawks, which I showed you a bit earlier. I played this a lot. I like the demo of Tomb Raider Legend. Did not really play the demo of Rise of Legends. Can't remember why. I don't think it worked for some reason on my computer. Condemned Criminal Origins, played this one, was nice. Mods, let's have a lot of mods, media, wallpapers, drivers, patches for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines in 2006. These were community patches, I think. Levels, DVD Finder, because at this point they were getting so big that you sort of wanted to have a place you could find them. Here. And Flow. Flow, remember, it was a very, very relaxing Flash game. It's quite cute, quite nice. Firefox was version 1.5. This was before they switched to making versions as whole numbers, and now we're at version 50. And of course, Broken Sword, The Sleeping Dragon, which is again a game that I'm a bit conflicted about. On the one hand, it's a superb story. I like what they did with the story, with the characters. On the other hand, the gameplay is shite. Like, the puzzles are utter crap. But it have a demo for Devil May Cry 4. Man, we're in the modern age. Yep. Yes, we are. Well, I guess that's it. 1 hour of me prosing, moving around through old demo discs. That hope you enjoy this. Like, it's been a blast to talk for 1 hour without coughing. I'm cured, almost. Hopefully, I hope all this thing was in focus, because if not, I'm gonna be really sad. I'm gonna be really sad if none of this was in focus, because if it was, no boy, it's gonna be kind of. This is the lamp I'm using to light this thing, by the way. And there's the carpet. Hope you enjoyed it. Probably won't make a show this long again with this camera, because encoding this in 4K is gonna take 5 hours. I'm not joking, it's gonna take forever. Should not have recorded it in 4K. But at least I can record like 1 hour in 4K and I still have... Well, when you're not actually moving the camera, the battery on this thing, when you're not adding effects, or you're not, turning it off and on, or switching focus or zoom all that often, works like a goddamn beast. I have 20 minutes left on the SD card and 2 bars on the battery. It's not even... It's barely half done. Wow. Like, they were underselling how much this thing can record. Like, they said an hour and 20 minutes. I think it's got... Like, in 20 minutes, my SD card is gonna be full. I don't care about the battery anymore. Wow. Yeah. So, if you enjoyed this, please write it in the comments, if you're still alive after seeing this, your own experiences with what you loved about these. The discs they used to get back in the olden days of magazines. I'll probably get to reading your comments tonight. I sort of been lazing off on that. I got a bit busy and slacked off and didn't really read a lot of your comments from recent weeks. Sorry about that. But I will, one day, hopefully. So, goodbye.